Hey again, it's me. We're going to jump right into today's episode, but I wanted to let you know that you can find Dave's books of poetry on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, anywhere that good books are sold. Would you check them out? No pressure. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Daily Gains. I'm Dave Joseph,
I'm Jeremy.
and we're excited to share the word with you as we meditate on the truth that is before us. So let's get started. 1 John 4:16. We have come to know and have believed the love which God has for us.
We have come to know and believe the love that God has for us.
God is love, and the one who remains in love remains in God, and God remains in him.
God is love, and the one that remains in God, God remains in him, and he remains in love.
And God bless the living out of this truth as well as his love.
Amen.
Amen.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Daily Gains 90. We are so glad you're here with us.
We are.
I want to jump right in here to this particular verse and notice that it says, we have come to know.
What you thinking?
I don't think he's just got he's trying to figure out how many words to use in this essay. So that makes me think maybe there's a distinction here between coming to know and coming to believe. And that makes me ask the question, hey, what does that mean? And what's the difference there? And two, have I done it? At the end of the day, that's the question that I want to ask myself, and that's the question I want to present to your listener to consider for yourself. Not just have you come to know, but have you come to believe? We talked in previous episodes about the fact that it's not enough to simply know God,
Right.
or to say that we're in God.
To know about him, yeah.
The demons know, and they shudder. But when we look at, or at least when I think of the word to know, it's not just a sapient kind of knowing. It's not just a thinking thing. It's both a relational, from the Old Testament use of the word yada, that Adam went to knew his wife and she was with child. But there's a relationship there, not just a sexual relationship, but an experiential, an actual interacting with, not just a contemplating about. And I'm going to import that here and ask myself, is the knowledge that I have of God, is it one that is primarily cerebral, where I've been convinced of something mentally, theoretically, philosophically, or is there more to it? And if there's not more to it, why not? Does God intend, according to this verse, for there to be more to it than just a cerebral, philosophical, theoretical cognition? And to that, my answer is, yeah, I think it does. I think the knowledge that we have come to know and believe, we've come to know God. How do we come to know him? Well, John says, that which we saw with our eyes, that which we touched with our hands, that which we heard with our ears. John's the beloved disciple who's sitting there next to Jesus. John's disciple, the beloved disciple, sitting next to Jesus, lays his head on Jesus' chest as they're sitting at the table there. The relationship between John and Jesus was not just one of, hey, let's interact with each other once in a while. You send me your ideas, and I'll send you your critique. You give me notes on what I'm thinking over here. And, we can sharpen each other's wit. It wasn't that at all. John knew what Jesus' hair and breath smelled like. He knew Jesus in that way. And I believe that John here is saying, me too, not in that same way precisely, but in that vein, we come to know God's will. Well, how do we come to know God's will? We come to know God in the way that a baby, even before it's able to understand or trust or believe, a baby's come to know its mother and its father because of the care it receives. It experiences something, in that experience then lays a foundation of trust that is then instinctually given and then intentionally given as the child grows. It comes to a place of being able to question, will I be failed? Will this person fall short? Am I going to trust that when they throw me in the air, they're going to catch me? Is this something that's fun? Is this something that's sheer terror? Because every time they do this, I I think that my life is in peril. The difference there is I've come to know God that every time he tosses me in the air, clearly it's abandoned me. Look, I'm flying in the air. I'm not safe.
Mm.
Versus the child that can enter into that dance, that place of relationship, trust, where, yeah, you're going to be here because you've always been here. You never let me down. This is how you demonstrate your amazing, surpassing power to me. You toss me in the air and you catch me. And I can, the entire time I'm here, I can just relax into this and I'll say, wow, I get to fly because you're going to catch me. That's the question I'm presented with in this. Have I come to know? And having come to know, have I believed?
Mm.
Have I believed today? And when's a struggle?
I about to say, and I'm on the other side of this coin. Um, I'm on the, I want to say it's John chapter 11, where Martha challenges Jesus and said, if you'd only been here, my brother wouldn't have died. It's not a question of, is he good and does he catch me? I think the part for me is in the growing, in the knowing, there is the reality that we get so close to the ground.
Right. Yeah, for
Or
sure.
sometimes,
And sometimes into it.
exactly, it hurts, and um, it hurts. And so, yes, he is good. Yes, he is on time. I just know on time for him always seems to be culturally late. So a person who is African American understands that, as well as a person who was a missionary and worked with Aboriginals, who understands culturally late being based on relationship, not on our clock, but knowing that, relationship is important. When he shows up, he's going to be present even in the grieving, as Jesus was. I get that. And at the same time, it is hard when you talk about the knowing. I know you so well that I know you don't flinch, but I do pause. Not because we're not going to have fun together, and not that I'm not going to go. It's just I know that the growing is hard.
Yeah, it is. But that's where I'm challenged because when it's hard, that's the question it comes back to. When it's hard for me to believe, I have to go back to what I know. And that's that's what sustains me whenever I work with my kids
Mm-hmm.
when they struggle. This is what I go back to when I have to correct them. And what they're feeling for me is more judicial than it is playful. I have to remind them, you know who I am. You know I'm your father. You know I love you. And if you've forgotten, I'm going to reassure you, I love you. I accept you. And what you did, it's wrong. It needs to change. And that's in the correction. We're going to get to that. I can't wait to get to that. But that's not where we are here.
Right.
Where we are right here is we're tossing in the air,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm tripping and falling. And all I know is right now the world is rushing up past my ears. And I have this funny feeling that my face is about to meet cement.
Mm.
Where are you? And yeah, I, I do flinch. I flinch a lot.
Yeah. I mean, at least for me, this verse is just the whole God is love. And that part of the love is staying in love.
Well, that's the second part of the verse right there,
Um,
right?
it is.
We've come to
And so
know
that,
and we've believed that everyone who stays in God, God remains in him.
and so as you talk about the, being tossed, I know dealing with anyone, you have to be relaxed to be caught well. If you tense up, if you freak out, it's going to make it so that you get hurt. Um, and so this idea that God is love and that I need to remain in that um, is what I'm thinking about from I do need to relax and rest in him and embrace the moment, being able to enjoy the moment,
Hmm.
to look around to see what there is to see him, to engage, um, and to know that he's love. Just whatever he's doing, he's love. Whether he's correcting me, whether he's singing over me, whether he's interceding on my behalf, he is love. Um, he's love. And so, I mean, I know a ton of people who have love tattoos on them. I still haven't seen a good one yet for the God is love, just to be honest. I've seen the whole heart, what is it? Heart cross, heartbeat one, and some other ones. But as far as just God is love, um, I think this is something I need to remember more, even though I know it. So it's not for lack of knowledge.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to keep on coming back to is, so I'm talking with my kids about they're doing something where they're walking through something or some point. There's a part of me that is heartbroken that when I see my kids walking through something difficult, my response is to walk in and say, "Hey, buck up, but you can do this." And my wife's response has been instructed because her response is to go to them and say, "Hey, this is really hard. And it's really hard for me too." And she puts her arms around them and she hugs them, and they sort of crumple into her and fuss and cry and receive comfort. And from me, they receive strength, but not necessarily comfort. I'm having to learn how God is different than me.
Mm,
And one of the ways he's showing me is through these interactions with my kids. That's what I think about here is when I'm going through that struggle of, the earth rushing past up my ears. It's not enough for me to go back and say, well, I know God is love. I know I have to feel something. Just to keep it real simple. I have to feel something. And maybe that's not Western, maybe that's not evangelical, maybe that's not reformed, but I need to feel something. I'm a person, a man, a physical body with real emotions. And I need to be in my feels, and God needs to meet me there. I need him to do that. And for me, it is helpful to go back through the times that he has where I've been in that same spot and he's come and sat with me in my feels the way that my wife does with our kids. It's remembering that, going back to those times and saying to him, "You did. I was feelings, and you did meet me there, and you didn't leave my side." That then reassures me in the trust of the moment as I'm watching the cement move closer and closer to my head. So, okay, I this looks like it's going to hurt, but I can trust. I believe that you're still with me, and that we're going to get through this together because you're there, because you love. It's a whole thing that holds me. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy because it's not. It's not spiritual thing. This is not mind over
mm-hmm,
matter. This isn't denial or whimsical thinking, but it's an intentional letting myself be in the moment and then also reaching back to remember where it is that my chain actually leads to, touching that in real time and saying, okay, it's still attached, it's still there. Then I guess I hold on and see where this goes. But I know that's still where it belongs. So I think maybe I'm possibly still okay. I think. I hope. I wonder.
we have a lot to wrestle with. Not only do we receive this great love, but do we give it? Does it overflow from our lives into the lives of others? So that's what we're here for. Have a blessed day. Lord willing, we will connect with you again tomorrow.